Thanks for joining us for the Member xCite presentation. The Member xCite presentation is informative, interesting to the audience, and showcases the strengths of the presenter as an entrepreneur and their area of expertise. It's not a sales pitch, it's a 10-minute educational and insightful exploration into what they do. And of course, it's exciting.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome our xCite presenter today, Matt Alderton from BX Networking, to present to us on Build $1 Million Referral System for Your Business. Ladies and gentlemen, please put your hands together for Matt Alderton.
Today I'm going to talk through in the next 10 minutes how to build $1 million referral system for your business. And this is a presentation that if you're a member, you probably recognize this because this is something we teach in our Member Accelerator training program as well. So if you're a member and you're watching here either live on the call or you're watching later, make sure you go and watch your Member Accelerator training program, because this will deep dive into it. Today, I'm going to spend 10 minutes. I'm going to highlight some of the key elements to building a referral partner plan. But I'll tell you what, most people, when you ask them where they get their business from, they will tell you referrals is the #1 source of new business. Which is fantastic. So they don't often say to them, it's a bit of a loaded question, but I often will say, hey, what's your strategy for your referrals as well? Like, have you got a strategy for your referrals, or getting more referrals, or getting, increasing the number of them? And people go, what do you mean? I'm like, well, if it's the #1 source for you and your business, then surely you've got a strategy around building that and accelerating that process. And they're like, no. And that's so common, the answer. That people come back and they go, oh no, I just get them. They're organic. I'm like, wow, if that's the #1 source and you could ramp it up and get a lot more, would that be good for your business? That everyone says yes. So we have a system at BX about how to, structure and create more referrals more often to create more sales. And this is the process that I'll highlight for you here as well. Firstly, at networking, because networking is the best place to get referrals and new business opportunities. But my #1 rules of networking, and let's face it, like BX is the paradigm shift of networking. We are networking reimagined, and our process, our rules around networking are like this. First of all, no selling. We don't sell at a networking event. I don't know if you've ever walked into a networking room and someone's been, they walk up to you and they start selling to you straight away, and you're like, oh, back off, buddy. It's kind of got that irky, sleazy kind of feeling going on. Well, we don't like doing that at BX. We don't have selling. Now, we do obviously have the opportunity where people do buy from each other, but people buy from each other when there's no selling through the relationship process. When you get to know, like, and trust somebody, of course, when you need their services, you're going to go speak to them. However, that happens the less you sell as opposed to the more you sell. The second rule there is it's all about connections. It's helping people build their connections. It's networking. So you want to create a bigger network, not work exclusively within the one room. You want to build that network. So it's all about the web outside the room as opposed to building it within the room. And the third thing is it's actually all about referral partners. Now, I know I'm preaching to the converted here today, but I will just remind everybody what a referral partner is. A referral partner is another business type that serves all the same types of clients you serve in your business, but they obviously don't compete with you. So there are other businesses that serve all the same types of people that you serve in your business. And the best way I can position this is for you is think about your favorite client and think about the types of businesses they're spending their money with. So if you imagine in your mind your favorite client, so imagine your brain there, put a name to that person. You should have a name for your favorite client. And I'm not talking avatars here. I'm going, pick your favorite client. You don't have to tell all your other clients that your favorite, just pick one. And that person there, who are they spending their money with? What are the other businesses out there that they spend their money with? And then once you can identify those other businesses, they're likely to be your referral partners as well. And the great thing is you're not looking for lots of crap clients. You're looking for some great clients, and that those other businesses will likely serve similar people to what your favorite client is, which is great. So as a quick example, we can all relate to this. We probably dealt with one of these people in our lifetime as well, but a real estate agent. So a real estate agent is dealing with people that are buying and selling homes. Yeah. So typically their client is the person selling the home, but they're dealing with people buying, selling homes. That's the client base there. So who else is dealing with those types of people? So imagine that client now, the person who's either buying or selling a home. Think about the other services, the other businesses they're dealing with. Now, an obvious one is if you're selling a home, you're probably buying one too, which means you'll probably need finance or refinance, and therefore you're likely going to need a mortgage broker. So a mortgage broker has a whole bunch of similar clients to that of a real estate agent. But then think of the other examples out there as well that you deal with when you're buying and selling a home. You've got pest inspectors, you've got conveyancers. So think of all those other types of businesses that serve all that client, and you can tap into those as well. So the mortgage broker and the real estate agent are referral partners, but it's all the other businesses that are working in that sphere as well. And they create your referral partner pod. So make sure you think about those. And when you're connecting with people at networking, don't overwhelm people with lots of choice. Just go, hey, great connection for me as a mortgage broker. And they can connect with mortgage brokers they know, and you can build those connections. So right now I'm going to give you the system for how to extrapolate this and create an exponential result in your business through referrals. So it's pretty simple. It's a 4-pronged process. Ask, connect, explore, commit. Now, if you follow this framework, I guarantee you'll turn your networking and your referral partner plan into $1 million system, okay? And it works like this. And truly, we speak to thousands and thousands of business owners, and we teach thousands and thousands of people how to do this. And most people, they stop at number 2 or number 3. They don't get to 4. And then they go, oh, it didn't work. And you're like, what are you talking about? You didn't do all 4 parts. It's like joining the gym and working out the gym, then going home and eating crap out of the fridge. You're not going to lose weight if you're not doing all 4 parts, okay? So this is the key. And most people stop at the 4th place, which is crazy because that's where it makes the money. It doesn't make the money in the first 3 stages. Today, if you were here with us today, pardon me, if you were here with us today online, you would have done your pitch. You would have done your 40 seconds. And this is the ask, okay? Any networking that you go to, this is the goal of the ask. It is to create connections to referral partners. And you do that by doing the who, the where, the what, the why, and the who again. So this is telling people who you're looking to connect with. This is educating the people in the room who your referral partners are and asking for those connections. So it's pretty simple. You know who you are, you know where you're from, so your business name, company name, what you do. So if you're an accountant, you're a lawyer, you're a business broker, you're a health and wellness person. So nice and simple what you do. Don't try and get complicated, because in a 40, 60-second introduction, you don't often have that much time to let people work out what you do. And if they're stuck here, they'll stop listening. They'll try and work out what you do. I've heard some life coaches say, and business coaches and other people, like they get all complicated because they think, oh, if I make it sound more interesting, people will want to, work with me. But in this instance, the more complicated you make it, so you might be a life and spiritual transformation specialist, blah, 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 blah. But people are going, what is that? Whereas you just want to give them the nice, clear what, so they can move on to the next thing. And the next thing is the why. And as Simon Sinek famously says, people don't buy what you do, they buy why you do it. This is the emotional connection to why you're in business in the first place. Now you need to tap into this. And if you haven't worked out what your why is, go and watch Simon Sinek's video on YouTube. Just go Simon Sinek why and watch his 20-minute video on YouTube. It is fantastic. It will change the way you think about your business. And when you're articulating your why, you don't get goosebumps when you're talking about it. You haven't tapped in deep enough to your why. You don't understand your why. It should, every single time you talk about it, give you goosebumps, give you a feeling in your gut. And it's crazy because even talking about the why right now, I still get goosebumps talking about it because I'm that connected to my purpose and my why in my business. So I should do the same with you. Now, the next point is the who. Now, I know we talked about the who at the beginning. It's just, you're going to actually go over this again, because what happens is you do your 40 seconds, you've talked about who you are, but now you want to talk about who you'd like to connect with. This is the referral partner. And so make sure everyone understands the referral partner that you're looking to connect with. Typically, I hear people, they start listing out multiples because get really excited and they think the more options they give, the more they'll get, but that's not true. Just pick one single referral partner each time you do a pitch and be clear on that so people can give you a connection to that referral partner. And you'll get connections straight away from people because you're not going to be selling to these people. You're going to be helping them find clients out of your pool of clients. And likewise, they'll probably help you find clients out of their pool of clients. The goal here is to get connections to referral partners. It's not about selling, it's to build those connections and ideally be introduced warmly to these people. So today, even in our 40 seconds today, when people have asked for connections to the 40 seconds, and I've put some comments in there and other members have put comments about who they've thought of through that process in the chat, we're not going to expect you to go out to that person and do a cold contact. We're going to warmly introduce you to that person. And that's the goal here, to make sure that you get a warm introduction to your ideal referral partner. And that happens through this process. So this is the second process. The first is ask, the next is connect. And that connection takes place in some emails. And this is the process that makes it super fast and efficient. So we're looking for an introduction to our referral partner through the connection process. We're going to send an email to the person who's offered to make that connection for us. So we send an email, and I'll show you some templates here, and they're available to download and stuff like that. And our members and guests have all got copies of these. And those emails are basically a reminder for the person who's offered to make that connection about the connection they've offered. So if I put in the chat box today or anything like that, hey, I'm looking to connect you with Joe Bloggs, the accountant, send me an email and say, hey, Matt, you offered to connect with Joe Bloggs, the accountant. The other thing you want to put in that email is a bit of a blurb that will help me introduce you, because let's make it nice and easy for the person who's offered to make that connection, yeah? And so what we'll do is we'll pop, a couple of sentences, nothing War and Peace style here, just a couple of sentences that will help me introduce you to the person I'm connecting you with. And that's a nice couple of sentences in the third person, just like I've gone to your LinkedIn profile and your website and all this sort of stuff and mashed something together to introduce you. But the best person to write that is not me, it's actually you, because you can summarize in a perfect way what you do, so I can help with that introduction better than I can. The goal here is to introduce you to that ideal referral partner, a warm introduction. And once that happens, then you can come back to that person and say, thanks, Matt, for the intro. Great to meet you, Joe, the accountant. I'd love to jump on a quick call with you and find out more about what you do. So is there a chance we can book a quick 10-minute conversation in? Your goal here is to get the connection and also make an appointment or a meeting off the back of that. Now, I always suggest a Zoom or a phone call is the easiest way to do this, because if you try and make it a face-to-face, with global connections these days and just with travel, it's crazy. We want to make it nice and simple as well. If you want to get lots of yeses, a quick phone call or a Zoom call are the best way to do this. And just a quick tip on this as well. I found that over the past couple of years, Zoom has been so overused in terms of connecting with people. I think sometimes we're zoomed out. And when you ask for a Zoom conversation, that creates a higher level of commitment. So I always like to go in with a couple of options. First of all, I say, I'd love to catch up, quick conversation, 10 minutes. I'd love to jump on the phone or on a Zoom call with you. Which would you prefer? I give them the choice, because that takes the pressure off them going, oh man, now I need to, put a shirt on and some pants on because I'm working from home, whatever it is. You just want to take away that level of potential resistance for making that call, make it as easy as possible. And the other thing you want to do is give them some options for times. Now, in this land of technology that we live in, often we're flicking them a link to our calendar booking system and going, yeah, book yourself in. But sometimes that's a little bit too hardcore in that first instance. People kind of go, oh, I'll book myself in like, I'm a slot in your diary kind of thing. So we want to make it a little bit more personal. So I normally go in with some options here as well. And this is a hot tip to getting more connections back, because people will say to me, oh, I've sent an email and no one responded. And then I'll say, oh, forward me the email. And I look at the email and I'm like, oh, okay. It's a little bit too sterile. Like you haven't really, taken, it's like a copy and paste the process. I said, go back and say, hey, great to meet you. I'd love to connect on a phone call or a Zoom call, whatever suits you. Here's some options that I'm available until the next week. Or if it works well, here's my calendar link. Or alternatively, send me back what works for you. And you'll find that people will respond to that in whatever way they feel comfortable, but you'll get a faster and you'll get more responses off the back of that as well. So the goal is to get on a call with this potential referral partner. So you can do step 3. There's some of those templates there as well. For our guests there, we might actually share that with you guys this afternoon, this morning, after the, not this afternoon, this morning after the call. And for, if you're online as well, you come and join BX and come along to a BX meeting. We'll give you that as well. Fantastic. If you do come along as a guest, we do shout you these templates. If you're in face-to-face, we give you them in a printed version. If you're in our online meetings, we give you them at the end as well. And so then we want to explore with this person. We want to explore the opportunity of becoming referral partners. Now, out of every, say, 5 connections, 1 or 2 might be a great referral partner, which is cool. You don't want to have, you're not necessarily going to connect with every single person that you're put in front of. Networking is not a dating service, it's a connection service. So we're not knowing whether there's going to be a chemistry between you and the potential referral partner. So this is what the exploration stage is for. So what you want to do here is really just ask 3 questions. You're on the phone or on a Zoom with this person right now, and you're exploring the opportunity of a potential referral partner. So 3 things. First, tell me about your business. I find by asking questions, it's a great way to learn more about other people. Tell me about your business. Is there any introductions you're looking for at the moment? Is there anything I could do to help you right now in your business? If you ask those 3 questions, you'll get some great dialogue happening with them. Now, the litmus test here for a great referral partner is they reciprocate. They'll ask you some similar questions back. Now, they don't have the framework, but if they go, hey, well, I feel like I've talked the whole time. I'd love to find out more about what you do. Can you tell me about your business? That's a really good response from a potential referral partner if they're interested in you as well. And once you know and you feel there's some chemistry there and you're like, hey, I could speak to this person more often. I kind of like the feel of this person. Then the goal here is to turn that into a more ongoing commitment. But if you don't feel the energy, feel the love from this person, then my suggestion is that when you wrap up the call, you don't commit any further beyond that call. You just kind of go, hey, look, it's been great getting to know you. And, it's not you, it's me. No, just kidding. Don't say that. But I'd say it's been great getting to know you. And of course, if I think and meet anybody that needs the services that you offer, of course, I'll connect them with you. And I'd love if you could do the same. But it's been great getting to know you. And, I'll make sure I reach out and say thanks to Matt for the connection as well. You can wrap it up. You don't need to commit to a full-on referral partnership to each and every person. It's about whether or not you feel the energy. And let's face it, they're probably feeling the same. If it's not an energy fit, it's going to be a 2-way thing. Don't worry about it. So what? So long, farewell, next. Move on to the next person, because your goal is to find those great referral partners. You don't want to waste time with people that aren't going to, be a good fit with you. You want to spend time with people that are going to be great. So your goal here is to explore the opportunity of whether or not you would like to formalize this into more of a referral partnership. And so you do that in the next stage here, and that's the commitment stage. Yeah, so you've been dating, you've gone along, you've had a great date. You're going to take this a little further. But this is well worth it, because I know that once you move into this stage, the commitment stage of your referral partnership, this is where it starts to make money. Yeah, because I know that each and every time you connect with a referral partner, you're being top of mind with that person. And when you're top of mind, you're going to then obviously create new business opportunities. So here's the commitment stage. It looks like this. The first thing is fortnightly. Now, if you don't recognize this word, it's because you're from America and you don't have this word in your vocab. But the word refers to every 2 weeks. Now, every single one of our Big X meetings are every 2 weeks. We have our meetings every 2 weeks because it keeps you top of mind with people. If you would go beyond 2 weeks, it just seems to be that 2 weeks is like a magic number. And when you go at the 2-week process, it means that people remain in our brains and we remain in their brains as well. Now, we're going to catch up for 10 minutes every 2 weeks with our referral partners. And the goal is about 5 to 10 referral partners is a good number of people to work to every year. And build upon that. You'll lose some each year and you'll gain some each year, and you'll keep growing the number of referral partners there as well. And you're going to ask them 2 questions every single fortnight. And those questions are, how can I help you this fortnight? And who can I connect you with this fortnight? And the reason we ask those 2 questions is to give purpose behind the conversation. Because if all you do is catch up with them every 2 weeks for 10 minutes and go, hey, how was your fortnight? Yeah, great. How's your weekend? Good. Okay. No worries. Well, let's catch up again in 2 weeks' time. That's not purpose, and that's going to lose its emphasis. People are going to recommit to other opportunities and other things going on in their business, and they're going to start dropping these calls. And what will happen is you'll go a month, and then you'll go 2 months, because there's no purpose behind it. You've got to have purpose. You've got to ask those 2 questions. And the reason we also have those 2 questions is it takes we put some action behind those questions as well. So when somebody says, back to you, hopefully they reciprocate with similar questions. When they say, oh, well, Matt, thanks so much. What can I do for you? And I will always say, hey, well, I've done this great blog. I did a podcast. I did this. I did that. It's on my social media. If I share the link with you, can you just, like, comment, share on that link for me? That'd be awesome. Now, what I've also done is with my other referral partners, I've asked exactly the same thing. So they're all liking, commenting, and sharing on a particular post every single fortnight. And because I've got some calls one week and some calls next week, I've got activity happening every week on my social media. And the reason for that is it creates some energy around your socials. It helps build more reach and more profile for your posts. And what that does is the people that are probably going to introduce you to sometime in the future are going to have seen some of the content that they've liked, commented, and shared. So it already creates a bit of social proof and a bit of trust and credibility with those potential people that they're working with. And of course, you're going to do the same thing for them as well. You want to elicit from them an action that you can help them with, because this creates the purpose behind the call. If we're doing this every fortnight, there's a reason we're getting on the call. But the top reason we want to be on a call every 2 weeks is to stay top of mind. If we're top of mind, then when we're in front of their ideal clients, our ideal clients, and they're in front of them, we're both going to be able to refer each other. Yeah, and that's the goal of it. We want to be able to refer to each other, our client base, because we want to be thinking of them when we're in front of their ideal clients and vice versa. Yeah, we're basically always prospecting on behalf of our referral partners. So we're thinking about our referral partners because they're top of mind for us, and we're thinking about them when we're sitting in front of our clients. And I did a lot of business coaching over the years, and I would sit in front of my clients, and I'd know who my referral partners were, and I'd have great relationships with them, and I'd know that, and I built those relationships. I had trust in the products and service they offered. They'd always looked after my other clients. So when I was talking to my clients and I was asking them, saying, talk about your finances and stuff. Hey, for the next meeting, can you bring along your financials for the past quarter? We want to have a look at those. And they go, oh my God, they're out of control. I'm like, oh, what do you mean? And I talk that through, and then I go, oh, well, what are you using for an accounting platform? And they go, oh, well, I put it into Excel. I'm like, oh, crap. And I'd go, well, I think a couple of things. Do you have a bookkeeper? No. Do you have an accountant? No. Okay, we need to sort out a few things here. And I'd give them some advice around that. And I'd say, look, I'm going to talk about putting you into a cloud-based accounting solution, but I'm also going to connect you with a bookkeeper that I know that can help you get a bit of control back in here. Because if I can take that stress away from your life, we can get some idea about where your finances are at, we can help you in other areas of your business as well. Anyway, so that prospecting, I would then introduce them to a bookkeeper that I would think that will be suitable for them. I'd make the introduction. That bookkeeper doesn't even need to sell to them. I've already done the work for them. I've already told them they need this bookkeeper. The bookkeeper is going to ring them up and say, hey, great to connect, Matt, blah, 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 and have a conversation with them. And they're like, oh, tell me, how do I get started? They're not going to be saying, oh, talk to me about this and talk to me about that. They already know. I've already done the work for them. And the beautiful thing about that is they're ready to buy straight away from you. And that's the goal. The absolute goal of these conversations is to keep you top of mind so that when you are in front of their ideal clients, you're thinking of them and prospecting on behalf of them, and vice versa. And that's what creates the strategic process around this. And that's the 4 elements: the ask, connect, explore, commit. And you can see why people who don't get to the commit don't make the money out of it. And this is the crazy thing. If you get to the commitment stage of the referral partner plan, you'll easily generate hundreds of thousands of dollars, if not millions of dollars a year, every year through this process here. And we encourage you to try and build about 10 referral partners every year, to add 10 referral partners to your process. Now, the funny question I get asked every now and again is, it ends up being a lot of calls. And I'm like, well, yes, it does. But just say you've got 10 referral partners, and each referral partner, generally speaking, will generate about $20,000 worth of new business to you. And it works, and it kind of hits a magic point at over 5, because you've got that activity happening around your socials, and you start to get some traction. There's momentum after 5. So don't have 1 and go, where's the money? Build the 5 to 10 and keep working it. Make sure you're connecting back with them on that commitment stage every 2 weeks. But they're generally worth about $20,000 a year. But how this works is that 20K is, like, if you're a business coach, your average client might be worth 10 or 20K a year. You might get 1 or 2 referrals that turn into actual clients a year off each referral partner. That's about right, yeah? You might be a printer whose average client over 12 months is about $2,000. Your average job, might be $500, but across one client, they might be spending a couple of grand a year with you. You might get 10 new client referrals from a referral partner a year as a printer. So each different business type has a different metric about how many referrals they need to get the 20K a year. But that's what you should be kind of thinking of with your referral partners. How many clients a year do I need to refer to them to get them to 20? And how many do I need to get from them to get to about 20? And then you'll have an idea, because sometimes people go, oh, I've only got 1 referral this year. And I'm like, oh, did they turn into a client? I'm like, yeah. And what was that worth to you? Oh, it's probably about 20 grand a year. And you're like, yes, that's okay. 20 grand a year is what you're aiming for off each referral partner. Now, if each referral partner is worth about $20,000 a year, and you're calling them every fortnight and having a 10-minute conversation, that 10-minute conversation is worth about $1,000. That one conversation will generate about $1,000 in new revenue across a 12-month period to get that 20K. But the magic number is not made up. The magic number is based on hundreds, or if not thousands, of case studies we've done through our members across the network. So make sure that you tap into that fortnightly conversation, because that's where the magic happens. Build those 5 to 10 across your first year and keep going, and you'll build up to that $1 million. Now, you don't need to obviously connect with and build 50, 60 referral partners and have those conversations yourself, because obviously once you're kind of doing 200, 300, 400K in your business, you're like, hey, I probably need to bring on someone else to help me build this business. You might not be doing it on your own, so you bring on a sales or business development manager, and they're networking as well. So why it's $1 million plan is because, of course, when you're doing over 7 figures in revenue, you're not going to be doing it all yourself. This is where you build your team around you, and they're doing network, and that's when it really scales up as well. So that's first 5 to 10, 15, 20, you can manage yourself. But as you build beyond that, you certainly want to bring in some BDMs and salespeople to help you with this process as well. Anyway, that's the end of the presentation. I've no idea how long I talked for and if I went over time, but I hope you got something out of that today, guys.
Yes, absolutely. Thank you so much again, Matt. Does anybody have any questions or any thoughts that they'd like to share? We have a couple minutes for that before we need to move forward. I think you might have just wowed everybody. Their brains are just like,
that's my fast
singing it all in. Yeah, that's it. The quicker pace.
I'll comment on something really quickly. To follow up on what Matt's saying is actually something Laz taught on in one of her member xCite presentations. Is it sounds so simple, and I just forget how simple it is. Laz is like, set those 10 minutes, the same 10 minutes every week, to like make sure you're following up on those referral partners. And I was like, for somebody who has ADD and is always like, I'll get to it, and you want to do it right and you want to do it perfect, just spend the same 10 minutes every week doing it. And I was like, why is this so simple but so hard? So I follow up to what Matt was saying, like it's so simple, but it's the commitment, it's the follow through. So yeah. Laz, thank you for that too. I still think about that from Austin.
I find that most people, when I speak to business owners, and I'm through the coaching and stuff that I do, the reason people have challenges in their business is because they're doing the wrong stuff at the wrong time. We think we're really busy, and like everybody says, when you say, how are you? They go, oh, I'm so busy at the moment. How are things going? Really busy. That's so common, the response. But busy is not a problem unless you're busy doing all the wrong stuff. So I say, put your big rocks in first. Book these times in. So if you have 10 referral partners, then you need to be making 5 calls a week. Okay, 5 calls a week. Block them in your diary and have them locked into your diary and commit to those. Book your networking in, block your networking in. Make sure you're doing the right stuff at the right time, but make sure you put those really important things into your diary and manage that. So that you're committing to the things that you should be doing and not just being busy doing the stuff that you shouldn't be doing. I kind of go into Matt lecture mode sometimes, so I'm sorry about that.
I appreciate it.
Right.
Awesome.
And yes, David, I agree. Business can really just be a form of like procrastination. You can be really good with that.
So true. Excellent. Thanks, Avery.